Alright, next up on the Staten Island Express, we have a 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan. Big Ram. 156, 499 on the odometer, and we have a Christmas tree. Okay, vehicle history. 4 months ago, Keith said he diagnosed a bad ECM on this car, or PCM, the engine control module. What it was doing is, it was just stalling out. He said that little tap test, boom, car shuts off. They replaced the ECM with a reman unit from Cardone. They programmed it, meaning you sent them the VIN, they put it in, the mileage, whatever, and, well, the car's running now. However, this was not the case before. So, again, get the scanner out, do some preliminary research. Automatic with AC is the engine control module. Codes. Okay, we have a 1695, no body bus messages. 1699, no climate control bus messages. Interesting. One trip, no transmission bus messages. Okay, this is looking like another network problem. Let's go into the other control modules and see what they're saying. Okay, battery was disconnected, no engine bus messages received. There you go. And what else? Body. Codes. Active codes. PCM messages not received. Okay, so I guess that makes sense either way. Stored codes. Fine. What else do we want to look at? I guess the airbag light is on. Let's see what's going on with our airbag. Vehicle body style unknown. Well, that's kind of weird. Never seen that code before. Vehicle body style. And what tells the airbag module the vehicle body style? Probably the PCM. So, back out of here. HVAC. This is the manual HVAC codes. So everything's talking to the scanner, but we have engine controller, receive and transmit failure, messages not received in 5 seconds. So that, makes sense with the code that we have stored in the engine control module. Instrument cluster. No ABS bus messages, no PCM bus messages. There you go. So again, the whole network is supposedly down. This is in the instrument cluster. And finally, did we look at the ABS yet? No comm with the ABS. Weird. No comm with the ABS. Bam, just kicks you out. We still have communication with the engine, right? Yep, so we still have communication with the engine. We can look at data, see if this makes sense. Make sure it was the right computer for this car. We're in closed loop, cam crank, RPM is accurate, throttle position, coolant we're at 206, rich and lean, everything looks pretty good. Okay. I wonder if there's a can we look at the module information, make sure the VIN is correct. 4AT, 3.3 liter, flex fuel, part number, chassis, 4-wheel drive, automatic transmission, 2003, 2-speed variable fan, body, RSRG. Not exactly sure what that is. However, right now, again, wiring diagram for this network. For the ABS, that's the only module we can't talk to. However, all the modules are setting comm codes with, with each other. So we need a network topology at this point. Okay, so looking up our network topology. Let's see here. DLC, pin 4. Yeah, that's a ground. Battery, okay. Pin 16 is from fuse, and 5 is also a ground. We know that. Now, here's the PCI bus. It comes from the integrated power module and splices off to BCM. PCI bus. Let's see, power liftgate, sliding door. Just want to see what's on here. Memory seat, airbag, instrument cluster, radio, AC heater control, that's HVAC, airbag control module, and something for the UK that we don't care about. Okay. Okay, so where's the PCM on this diagram? We open up the engine controller diagram now. So this is powers and grounds. I'm looking for just the comm lines. And right here, powertrain control module, pin 7 and 12 is the SCI transmit and receive. That's where you hook up your scanner. And then the PCI bus wire, you see there's the ABS module, and that goes right up to our integrated power module to the PCI bus. And from there, it goes to all the other modules. So, what's the easiest plan of attack here? I want to put a scope on this PCI bus wire because our DLC has to go through the PCM to talk to anything, and we can talk to all the modules except for the ABS unit. That's very interesting. And then I'm not exactly sure where this data link connector A goes. Is there a separate PCI bus wire for the DLC? I'm going to research that. So we need to see what this line is doing, or which pin this goes to. See if we have a signal on there. Alright, we've got our scope set up. We're going for this white and violet wire. I found it's easier to find it right on the bottom of this integrated power module. You can see there's two white and violet wires going to that pin. That's this splice right here. One goes to the ABS, the other one goes to PCI bus wire on the powertrain control module. So, well, we have activity already. That looks like a decent 0 to 8 volt communication signal. Hooray! Sweet. So wire, I guess wiring integrity is there. Now, on that wire, who's sending out the messages? Is it the IPM fuse and relay center, or is it the engine computer? If we unplug the engine computer, let's let the scope run. I'm going to unplug this connector, which includes that white and purple wire right there. Let's see if this drops out. So with the PCM unplugged, now I'm wondering if we can talk with our scanner to the other modules still or not. So there's still activity on there. Let's see, ABS. Codes. Nice. We're back online on the ABS. Amazing. Let's see what we have here. All kinds of good stuff. Clear the codes. Continue codes. No codes present. So let's plug the PCM back in. This is real time. I mean, that was just a kind of stab in the dark. So our comm line's still there. Codes. No codes present, so we can still talk to the ABS here. Cycle the key off. On. Uh-oh, now we gotta crank no start. We broke it, Keith! I got the ABS back online with the engine computer unplugged.
Uh-huh. So the engine computer is unplugged at this moment?
No, I plugged it back in.
And now it's no start?
Well, let's see. Keys out. Let's wait for it a little bit. Okay, start it up.
It's interesting. There's not
Very interesting.
There's not 100 codes on there right now either. All the lights aren't on.
No. No codes present in the engine. Let's see if we can still talk to the ABS. We're in. You can read data. So what now? Let's check some of these other modules. So I'm gonna clear these out and see if we can reproduce the problem. Okay, so that's happy now. It's idling a little high.
You have a tachometer now?
We didn't have it before?
No tachometer.
In the instrument cluster.
I don't know, Ivan. I think you fixed it with the Dimitri magic.
Oh my gosh. Those are gonna break again then. Dimitri magic?
Yes, Dimitri magic.
Which Dimitri?
He's one of your subscribers.
L? Dimitri L?
He just fixed an electric bicycle. Yes, Dimitri L.
He's a good friend of mine.
Electric bicycle by waving a magic wand on it. That was it.
He's good. Alright, let's clear these guys out. Now why is it idling high, Keith? Why is it idling high?
That's a good question.
So I clear the codes out of the instrument cluster. Okay, so our communication seems to be back. Just give it a little time to reset here. I'm gonna have to take it for a spin. Doing a little tap test? All right, let's look at the data, see if there's anything funky in here. So RPMs are good. It's a closed loop. Throttle's at 18%.
Cable's free out here.
Is it free?
Cable's as loose as a goose out here.
All right. Well, 18% seems a little high on the throttle. We're switching. Brake is released. Interesting.
What was your minimum TPS voltage?
Let's see, I didn't see that on here. Minimum TPS 0.23 and current TPS voltage is, where's the throttle percent?
You should have a TPS voltage.
Yeah, I know.
Also,
Should. Sometimes it's easier to. Min TPS, throttle percent, where's TPS voltage? See desired idle. I mean, it should be up here.
There it is right there on the top. Second one in.
Oh, blind. Yeah, so our throttle is partially open right now for some reason.
So how do you raise your minimum TPS voltage?
Cycle the key.
Yep. Key off. Cycle the key on.
Back in the data. So TPS right now is 0.88 and minimum TPS is
It comes up a little bit, you see? So now do
0.29.
the same thing again. Cycle that key a couple times till you get it up to where you think it should be. Which is what? 0.45 on this one?
It is going up a little bit, yeah.
It will. It'll continue to go up.
What? I've never seen this before, Keith. Really?
Minimum TPS voltage will continue
Why
to
does
go
it go up in little increments?
Because that's Chrysler's strategy.
Oh my word. Well, I learned something new
Alright,
today.
so now you have minimum TPS is what? 0.47?
0.53.
Okay, there you go. That's about normal, right?
That's about normal.
Alright, start it up.
But it was idling fine before.
right?
Right.
I agree. Yeah.
You got it.
That idle is definitely all the way to the bottom. Right now. There's no way you can see what's allocated.
Well, that's hard to say.
Dirty as next to you.
It's really dirty, yeah. Where's the throttle stop? There's a little screw there, but that's never been touched. Okay, so see right now throttle percent is showing 10 because we bumped up our minimum TPS voltage, right?
That's right.
That's pretty neat. Desired idle RPM is 752. We'll drop down a little bit, but how was it idling fine before? Or it was at like 900. It wasn't at 700.
Right. No,
So
yeah, it was somewhere pretty low though. It was somewhere around maybe about 8 to 9.
It was 990.
Was it really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No change in the depth then.
No.
What are our IAC counts?
Let's see, IAC. IAC current, IAC airflow grams per second. I think that's all it gives in terms of IAC.
IAC airflow grams per second.
Yeah.
I wonder how they calculate that, Ivan. I'll give you something to not sleep about.
2.3 grams per second going through the IAC, huh? Half an amp. Seriously? What if you unplug the IAC? You unplug the IAC? So that should be like base, it should be like at 500 RPM now. And it's still above 1,000. So I'm still firmly convinced that our throttle plate's stuck open or the IAC valve's stuck open. Yeah, IAC motor sense circuit low, okay. Uh-huh. Now what kind of IAC is this, Keith? Is it a 4-wire or 2-wire or what?
I believe this one's a 2. Yep, just a 2-wire IAC.
2-wire, okay. Now this is the
So I have a question for you, right? We unplugged that IAC.
yeah, what does
Why
it do?
was it commanding it at all higher?
It must be its base whatever position.
Well, if it was base position, right, it would be 0 IAC counts, 0
Well,
milliamps, and the thing would be sitting there dead in its closed position.
Yeah, is it like a spring return type? If you unplug it, it'll
Must be because I unplugged it.
and it would drop,
It dropped
right?
down.
Right.
So why was there a command to go higher?
Another fantastic question. You plug it back in, it'll go up, right?
Now you said your TPS voltage is at 0.88.
Right now it's at 0.88.
Right, we think that point, what do we think, 0.35. Are there any other elevated voltages? Is anything else slightly elevated?
0.88 on the
Perhaps you have a
TPS.
sensor ground type issue.
Well, okay, I mean that's a possibility, but it's still
We had a connection issue that we know of already, right, at the PCM.
okay. True.
So that's my thought process. I have an elevated TPS voltage, right? So this thing is thinking that I'm at part throttle, at a part throttle.
Okay, so the question is, are we really at part throttle, or is it thinking it's part throttle?
0.45,
That's where I would go right now.
Should be base, right? That should be our base. That's these older Chryslers,
okay, about half
these older
volt.
GMs. That's where they want to be, right about at half a volt.
Okay,
The Chryslers
fine.
like to stay a little bit lower than that. They like it about 0.45.
So basically, my next step was going to be measure the real signal, see if it agrees with the scan data, and the 5-volt reference and the ground right at the TPS.
That's it. Yeah, I would think
Just
that would be the easiest.
Just to
thing do.
verify.
Yep. Or if you really wanted to go quickly,
Yeah.
go right to that sensor ground and ground it. Supply.
The little bypass.
See if that automatically drops the voltage
Okay.
down.
Yeah, if
And
you're already
whether or
there.
not we're dealing with something that's more of a connection issue.
Right.
But-
Okay.
What do I know? When I looked, I was only like at 500. Wow.
All right. Let's go into the
I went up about that.
TPS, right? Throttle control system, throttle position sensor, component information, violet, white, orange, blue, black, and light blue. Let's go through these with the picoscope, verify the actual signals, and see where that goes. Alright, so first wire, we'll pierce. We're exactly at 5 volts, so that must be the 5 volt reference. Let's get off of here. This is the ground wire, should be the ground wire. We can even bump our scale to plus or minus 1 volt. Kind of noisy. Kind of noisy. But, you know, we're within, well, 0.1 volts here. That should not affect it that much. And finally our signal wire. About 0.88 or 800 millivolts. Crack the throttle open. Now, is this supposed to be that noisy? Well, if you zoom in, these are just probably little ignition noise, but yeah, that is accurate. Nothing wrong with that. So basically, I think our throttle is a little bit open for some reason. And how was the idling fine before? Great question. Because it's, you know, throttle stop screw is right there, and we're definitely hitting it. Plug our IAC back in here. If we can find the application. I mean, it looks noisy, but the signal is still 0.8 volts. All right. Back to our scanner in here. So let's clear the codes. Yes. Continue. Codes. No codes. 1 trip. No codes. Secondary indicators. No codes. All right. Back to our data. Let's add the IAC airflow, IAC current. Oh, we should also add the RPMs, of course. So we're at 1792. .500 milliamps IAC current. Throttle percent is at 8. I don't know, this IAC airflow grams per second is kind of weird. Why would it be 2.3 grams per second through the IAC?
know.
I mean, if you unplug it, it should drop to 0.
So you're tied into your signal wire, huh?
Yeah. Is there anything wrong with that, Keith?
Well, that's going from about 0.4 to 1.2.
Oh, they're just little ignition spikes.
Is that what they are?
Yeah, zoom in.
That's pretty darn new. That's pretty darn noisy, man.
Look, look, look.
Don't you have an isolated ground here?
There, see if you zoom in, it doesn't look that bad. Okay, we can totally bypass the ground. I mean, I'm not against that. I don't think it'll change anything. Okay, let's go to the ground. Alright. We're just going to bypass the sensor ground, go directly to the battery ground. Look at our ground. Okay, so we cleaned it up a little bit. Fine. See, that's how much we cleaned it up.
So we bring the voltage down even a little bit.
TPS is still at 0.88.
0.88.
Exactly at 0.88.
Definitely too high.
It's definitely too high. But again, the question is the throttle plate open too far, or is it a TPS like it's on?
Is this easy enough there? I'll go ahead and clean it out.
Let's see, unplug the TPS sensor. So basically the car doesn't want to drop down to an idle because it thinks the throttle's open, so it's opening the IAC a little bit to prepare for a decel. We think. We can unplug this TPS. So unplug the TPS and just drop down. See if our data reads. Why is our data TPS voltage high? Okay. Go back to our data.
TPS
Okay, so I unplugged it. RPM's at 1000. IAC current dropped down for sure. IAC airflow is 0. Throttle is, okay, well, obviously throttle is 0. So the unwanted air is going through the IAC, which is being commanded on, based on a TPS voltage that is too high. Right. Okay.
You want to shut it off for a second? We'll clean that?
You want to clean the throttle body?
Why not? I know there are guys out
Yes, sir. So you're saying cleaning the throttle body would do what?
If it's not seating all the way, the blade itself isn't seating all the way, and it's got a little ridge of all the carbon behind.
Yep, and when you push it down, it's really hard to get it to snap open again. All right, we'll shut it off. What's Keith's favorite way of cleaning a throttle body? Brake clean, carb clean, wipe it out.
Wipe it out. This is those tough rags that they have.
Uh-huh.
That have that little scaly.
Oh, okay.
That scaliness to them. They do
that's
pretty
like
well.
a wet wipe.
Yep.
Nice, okay.
But they work pretty well. Well enough for what we want.
Right. But I'm saying, if we're returning against a throttle stop, for sure, I mean, you could hear it like snap, snap, snap. It's not
If
like,
that's the case, then the TPS itself would have to be misadjusted.
Yep.
Which, you know,
Is that
the
possible,
TPS
or
the TPS wasn't touched.
was not touched? It still looks all crusty and stuff.
See, this is, look, all the proof you guys need right there. Yes, Eric, how can I help you? Oh, very good. No problem.
You want me to fire it up? We should plug the TPS back in, I guess. Okay, so unplugging the TPS actually reset this minimum TPS voltage to like 2 volts, and then next time I cycle the key, it dropped to 0.86. That's pretty cool. And what are the RPMs? They're 960 and desired idle is at 750. Still not quite there. However, it's a lot closer. So that's interesting. The TPS, computer reads it, commands the IAC, so your TPS could potentially have an effect on your idle speed. Absolutely. You see this, Keith?
Minimum TPS and the TPS, now they're matched.
Yeah, because we had the high code, so it thought, you know, now it brought the TPS minimum voltage.
Brings the idle back down to a reasonable level.
Reasonable. I mean, it's still like 200 RPM higher than desired. I think it's time for a test drive.
Don't worry, no, that voltage is still a little bit high.
Yeah. So bottom line is our TPS voltage is still elevated.
Right. Still up a little bit higher than what we want it to be, but now that the minimum TPS and the TPS are reading the same, it's heavy. It's not commanding anything. It's not commanding the IAC to open because it doesn't see us stepping on the throttle anymore.
Right.
So, but that's still a little bit high. The TPS has a really minimal adjustment on this thing. I don't even think it's worth trying to do. Just generally on those things, you'll get maybe a 1/10 of a volt. That's about all you'll get.
Okay, so
and
you
this
can
thing
try
should
to
be down
adjust it back.
closer to about a 1/2 volt.
So we're like 0.4 volts off.
Yep.
Too high.
Yep.
And mechanically, this thing looks fine. You know, the throttle stop screw has never been messed with.
Right.
The throttle plate looks in the right position. However, how it connects to the TPS sensor, you think is a little.
Yeah, these you know, a lot of times there you get a little bit of shaft wear on the inside of these things, and it'll sit there and it'll start to come a little bit skewed.
Okay. So you would recommend a whole new throttle body?
I would recommend taking, either do the throttle body. Sometimes you even just sit there and you can take them apart, and there's actually bushings inside there, and the bushings will get a little bit cocked out.
Yeah, get a little,
kind of shift off
egged
to the
out.
side. If you really want to go that far, that's a project though. You know, throttle body for this thing is really pretty basic. There's nothing to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
No major electronics to it. It's just an empty housing. So.
So it's not that expensive.
They probably don't cost that much. You know, it's got 156,000 on it. You know.
Now, could they drive it like this?
Yes.
And won't set codes?
It won't set codes. The only thing you might end up having though is like slightly elevated transmission line pressures, things like that.
Okay, so idle too high.
Yep.
You know,
things that the engine may not see as an issue, but you know the TCM looking at it as an input being raised, raised voltage might say, well, let me raise up line pressures a little bit, so when it goes into gear, we don't get the big thud.
Exactly.
Or
now the original issue with all the Christmas tree lights and no comm. I mean, the only thing I did was unplug this connector to see what the comm line was doing, plug it back in. Now ABS is back online.
That's right.
We have no more messages. I mean, what do you feel about that? Like,
doesn't seem to be pin fit. We've been wiggling the harnesses. We moved around the connector while we were in there.
Right.
Nothing seemed to make any kind of a change there, so it's a pin fit issue in some ways. But like I said, the big people.
Yeah, so we touched it in FM.
FM. Yep,
yeah. I still want to take it just around the block, just see how it drives. Sure. And from there, we'll say give it back to the customer or recommend
we got plenty
whatever.
more to do, so.
All right, we'll wrap this way up. So thanks for watching. We'll leave it at that, and stay tuned for the next one.